I actually wanted to bring up Chia as well, kind of a side note here. Let me see if I can pull this up for you guys because it was pretty concerning. Let me see if I can find, I think it's under tweets and replies. I can find the original article. Give me 1 second, boys, because you'll find this interesting. All right. So what we have here is essentially a talk about Bitcoin, and then Chia gets involved in discussing it. Okay. And what I'm trying to demonstrate here is the perception of cryptocurrency needing to fund developers. Okay. And I want you to think about this because what we're talking about is new type of money. And then we'll kind of talk about the differences between Bitcoin and Chia, for example, here. So Alex Gladstein went ahead, blue check mark, said the first step to understanding Bitcoin's energy use is to come to grips with the fact that A, Bitcoin is valuable to tens of millions worldwide who lack access to the financial system you enjoy. B, if you want neutral, open, decentralized money with no rulers, you need proof of work. Keywords here that you need to pay attention to is decentralized and no rulers. Okay, I want you to really think about this. Bram Cohen from Chia, who we have had on the show and we've talked to, said that proof of space and time keeps the security benefits of Nakamoto consensus. In fact, improves upon them without all the energy waste. To which Adam Back said, please stop FUDing Bitcoin. Okay, so that statement in general is an advertisement for his coin and specifically his consensus mechanism when we're talking about Bram in general. So let me get rid of those messages. I just realized those are up, but it's fine. You guys can see who I talk to. It doesn't matter. All right, so there's nothing necessarily wrong with that statement other than no, there's nothing really necessarily wrong with that statement. You would have to, other than maybe you have technical reasons why proof of space and time isn't as good as proof of work, which is fine. So then Adam Back says, please stop FUDing. And Gene Hoffman, who is a part of Chia as well, on the board, says, if you have a technical argument that what Bram is saying is incorrect, make it. And I think that is fair enough. And Adam said, is against your interest, though you may not recognize it, to FUD Bitcoin. If Bitcoin runs into regulatory difficulty, in small part thanks to your FUD, which these are bad arguments. Adam Back's arguments are bad, by the way. You should be able to criticize Bitcoin and not have people say FUD, FUD, FUD. And here's why, okay? And this kind of goes along the lines of free speech to a certain extent. And he can say that, and then I can say arguing FUD essentially is a non-argument. His points are invalid at this point. All he's trying to say is essentially that you shouldn't FUD Bitcoin because the regulatory would hurt your project. Okay, whatever. That wasn't the original argument. The original argument was that proof of space and time is better than proof of work. But if we go to the very beginning in the OP, the idea is using proof of work to keep it decentralized with no rulers. When we're talking about, in the case of Chia in particular, what we're talking about is not only both rulers, because they have board members and developers that are getting paid directly from the project, but we have this new consensus mechanism that should supposedly be better than Bitcoin. In my opinion, nah. All right. Specifically for those two reasons. It's not decentralized and it does have rulers, right? Now, decentralized, we could say it's decentralized as far as the processing power goes. So I don't like these arguments, though, is the point. But he did say your pre-mined coin will be more vulnerable to regulatory attack. So here's what we're talking about. Chia being pre-mined, that sort of thing. Here's the defense, and this is where it gets sketchy from Chia. In making your political point, you may be doing the world a disservice by not forking proof of work out of Bitcoin. Proof of work's energy consumption is a far larger attack surface than a preform that keeps developers from begging on GitHub. This is where we have a problem. And here's the problem. All right, is that if we're talking about a currency, if we're what are the biggest problems with like fiat currency in general? Is typically that is controlled by the state, and the state can therefore manipulate that currency to their benefit. So if we want to get rid of that, we need to basically focus on a couple things, which is removing the state and removing any entities, capitalistic entities or whatever, from actually controlling the supply of whatever currency. And just by making this statement, he's making it clear that the point of creating the currency is to create wealth for the developer of said currency. There's a reason why it's good that Satoshi Nakamoto's main wallet hasn't ever been liquidated and why he's anonymous. It's because what that develops is a trust in that currency that you don't have a financial incentive tied directly to a developer that may manipulate monetary policy. And the more and more I look at almost every single cryptocurrency project where I give a lot of leniency to is typically with programmable blockchain. It definitely still makes me lean towards Bitcoin as the maximalist portion, the only thing that is currently out that does act as it does to reduce the interference from rulers and from people trying to manipulate currencies. Basically, just in his argument here, what he has done is reduce my trust in Chia as a project, because he's missing the point. And then, of course, he had to make the boneheaded statement of, I've been in cryptocurrency since 1997. Here's where we'll give him leniency. Obviously, if we think about cryptocurrency, we say that's not possible to be in it since 1997. But if we really wanted to get into the roots of cryptocurrency, we could get into, of course, the Cypherpunk Manifesto, which then would lead us, obviously, into basically being able to secure emails and communications, which kind of leads us into cryptocurrency. So I'll give him that. Maybe he's been working on that sort of thing, email encryption, etc. Cool. Maybe he's been working on encryption and that's what he considers cryptocurrency. I'm just really not liking this guy, and specifically, I shouldn't say this guy, specifically whatever whiskey he was drinking and talking shit on last night. I'm not down with it, okay? So I wanted to get those clarifications in because, and this isn't to dig on necessarily like any individual or any individual project, as more as what I wanted to do is relay those ideas to the best of my ability on the difference between Bitcoin and everything else in the market. That's kind of what I'm trying to get to, or get at. So hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from as far as that goes. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.